Thank you so much, Ken, and thank you to all of you for being here today. I'm honored to be speaking on behalf of the Gerstner Sloan Kettering graduating class of 2017. I'd like to take a moment first and foremost to congratulate my peers and their mentors on our collective accomplishments today. I think, as Dr. Langer alluded to, a PhD, we've learned the hard way, really is every bit as challenging, as arduous, as testing of our strength and perseverance as it's purported to be. At times, it's nearly a seemingly Sisyphean task, but today, we've all managed to push our respective boulders to the top of our hills, so I hope you will take a moment to enjoy the view from the top and celebrate your successes. In reflecting back on the experience of the PhD, I realized I think part of its inherent challenge comes from the fact that the experience is so humbling. By now, we've each spent a sizable chunk of our lives toiling away, filling in details down to the very last well of every 384-well plate, each of us relentlessly pursuing the specific subset of questions that we so passionately want to know the answers to. The problem when you get so obsessed with details, though, is that sometimes it becomes difficult to remain inspired. But luckily, as Ken's alluded to, and I think we've seen fantastic examples of today, we are in an institution that teaches us the power of context. The Gerstner program was founded with a very noble goal in mind, and that was to integrate the most basic of science with the most clinical problems, which is this collection of diseases we refer to as cancer. I think that that's actually what attracted a lot of us to this specific graduate program, and I think our founders and faculty have to be commended because they have done an outstanding job at realizing this goal. From the very first day we walked in as graduate students in this program, we were taught to think from the minutia of molecular mechanisms up to the culmination of clinical trials and patient prognosis. And once again, as Dr. Langer alluded to, I know that for myself, it was this that sometimes motivated me, that reminded me that the hours I was putting in had the capacity to be so much more worthwhile and meaningful than I might have given them credit for in the moment at midnight or 8 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Unfortunately, this importance of context is not always impressed upon the lay people and the policymakers. This past year in particular, we found ourselves in a political climate that poses a challenge to the entire scientific community, unlike anything we've encountered in our individual projects. It is a threat to scientific funding, to scientific policy, to the ease with which we collaborate with the world's greatest minds without concern for which corner of the globe they just so happen to be born in. It's a threat to the very institution that we've devoted our lives to. As scientists, we've always been taught that the burden of proof is on us. But now that I've been a practicing scientist for many years, I can safely say that proof is the easy part. The much more onerous burden is that of convincing people that your science is worth paying attention to. It's convincing the conference coordinator that your abstract should be selected for publication. It's convincing the study section that your grant should be funded. It's taking those lessons of context that the Gerstner program has taught us so well, and it's reminding those around us that the questions we study are not obscure. On the contrary, they're indispensable. Today, this burden weighs more heavily on us than ever before. So as we prepare to take this next step in our journeys, I implore you to remember this all-important burden of a scientist. And regardless of where your career paths and choices may take you, to remember that it is our responsibility to convince the world around us that good science is not just worthy of pursuit, it is worthy of attention. Thank you and congratulations.